Good morning. This is indicator 18, and our learning target is I can convert measurements using ratios. Yes, we're still on ratios. So I've included here something you can print out and put in your notebook. These are U.S. customary units. We call them standard units. Get that out of the way. We call them standard units or U.S. customary measurements. There's also the metric system, and something interesting is when I was in grade school, which was in the 70s and 80s, they said then that we were going to switch over completely to the metric system. And we are familiar with it, but we haven't switched over. We still use our customary system. And here you can see this is our capacity measurement in the United States. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. 1 quart is 2 pints. 1 pint is 2 cups. 1 cup is 8 ounces. So these are the things we use to measure liquids. So far as length or distances, 1 mile is 1,670 feet. And I also want you to write on your paper that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. Okay? So you want to, feet. Oops. Pull that down a little bit. 5,280 feet. Okay? 1 yard is 3 feet. 1 foot is 12 inches. So that's what we use to measure length or distances. Normally, when we do distances, we use miles or sometimes yards. And weight. 1 pound is 16 ounces, and 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. Now, the metric, so you see, we have a lot of different things we use for this. Now, in the metric system for capacity, it's liter. So, this is the one for capacity. And as you see, we have like 4 different things here. We have cups, well, 5 ounces, cups, pints, quarts, and gallons. Metric system only has liters and different. So you can do a milliliter, kiloliter, deciliter. I've only really heard of milliliter, pretty much, or liter. Gram is what they use to measure weight. So you can have a kilogram, a centigram, a milligram. And meter is their only measurement of length. And all of their prefixes that go with meter, you can have a kilometer, you can have a millimeter, you can have a decameter, a decimeter. You don't really, a centimeter. Most in metric system, you'll hear centimeter, millimeter, kilometer. You'll hear those most of the time. But these are all all multiples or of 10, factors of 10. So the metric system only really has 3 main things for capacity, length, and weight, and multiples of 10 that they use. So you can see why that's much simpler. We're going to come back to that page. So right now, let's do a couple of examples. I'm looking at what I have on the board. So we're going to convert 12 cups to fluid ounces. Okay, so convert cups to fluid ounces. And we're going to use ratios. There's another method that you can use, but I'm just going to use ratios. So if we go back to our conversion chart, we'll find out that there are 8 fluid ounces in a cup. So 8, and I'm going to use the abbreviations. 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. And that's equal to, this is what we're looking for, so I'm going to draw a box. How many fluid ounces? OZ is the abbreviation for ounce in 12 cups. So I'm going to switch colors so we can see something here. We're going to use equivalent ratios, equivalent fractions. So look at these as fractions, or as we did with our ratio tables. 1 times 12 gives me 12. So I'm just going to put that there just as a reminder. So if I multiply this by 12 to get this, because we got that equal sign there, I have to multiply this times 12 to get what's in my box. So 8 times 12 is 96. So 12 cups is equal to 96 fluid ounces. Let's do one more. Let's see, I have it written down here somewhere. 6 cups. I'm sorry, 6 pints. So 6 pints. Draw a line there. We're going to convert that to cups. So 2 cups. If I go back to my conversion sheet, and when I'm talking about my conversion, I'm talking about up here. 1 cup, 2 cups is 1 pint. So 1 pint is 2 cups. So 2 cups is 1 pint, right? And so how many cups? I'm going to draw my box. An abbreviation for cups is just C, but yeah, we can write that. Is how many cups is 6 pints? So you see, this is ratios. Remember, we can write ratios as fractions. So let me change color and do purple this time. 1 times 6 gives me 6, right? So 2 times 6 gives me 12. So 6 pints is 12 cups. So now let's look at some of the examples that we have. I'm going to go ahead and work these out. And I messed up one in class, so let me find my sheet so I won't mess up again. I hadn't had enough coffee when I did this first one. Okay, so 19 gallons is equivalent to how many quarts? Now, if you want to try to work this out, pause the video, work it out, and then come back and see how I did. So I'm going to simulate a pause. All right, now we're back. All right. So 19 gallons is equivalent to how many quarts? So from our conversion sheet, and if you're at home, just print this out. If you're in class, I gave you a copy. 4 quarts is 1 gallon. Ooh. 1 gallon. I'm going to abbreviate gallons. So how many? That's my box. Quarts is 19 gallons. 19 gallons. So 1 times 19 gives me 19. So I'm going to have to multiply this 4 times 19 to fill in here. So 4 times 19 is 76. Did you get 76? Yay! So that's your answer. Now, I messed this one up in class. I don't know what I was thinking. But sometimes I just have my days. 57 yards is equal to how many feet? Is equivalent to how many feet? So according to our conversion table, I'm talking about this one right here. Okay. 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. And I'm just going to use the abbreviations, y'all. No biggie. So how many feet is equivalent to 57 yards? So 1 times 57 is 57, right? Right there. So I'm going to have to multiply 3 times 57 to get that equivalent fraction. If I multiply the numerator by something, I have to multiply the denominator by something. If I multiply the denominator by something, I have to multiply the numerator by the same thing in order for my fraction or my ratio to remain equivalent. And so by the power and magic of calculators, 3 times 57 is 171. So 57 yards is equivalent to 171 feet. Okay, go ahead and try number 3. Pause the video and then come back and check to see if you got it. 50 quarts is equivalent to how many gallons? Okay, now we're back. 50 quarts is equivalent to how many gallons? From our conversion table, 1 gallon is 4 quarts. That's a Q. And so that means some number of quarts is equal to 50 quarts. Okay. I'll let me do that. Some number of gallons is equal to how many quarts? So 4 times what is 50? How will I know that? 4 times what is 50? How? Okay, so 4 times some number is 50. How do I figure that out? Well, I divide 50 by 4, and that'll tell me what I multiplied to get 50, okay? Because division is the opposite of multiplication. So I'm going to go over here to the side. Remember, scribble, scrabble over to the side. 4 goes into 5 one time. That's my division. Multiply, divide, multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down. 4 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. We're not going to use remainders here. We're going to use a decimal. Subtract, bring down. 4 goes into 20. 5 times 4 is 20. And I end up with a 0. So 4 times 12.5 gives me 50. And you can go back and try that on your calculator and see if you get the same thing. 50 divided by 4 is 12.5. So 4 times 12.5 gives me 50. So I did that just to see what number I multiplied by 4 to get 50. So I can get my equivalent fraction. So 1 times 12.5 gives me my number I get here. So we got a decimal, y'all. So there are 12.5 gallons in 50 quarts. So 50 quarts is equivalent to 12 and a half gallons because 0.5 is a half. Did you get that? Good. I knew you did. I knew you did because y'all are real smart like that. Okay, 3 miles is equivalent to how many feet? Remember I told you to write down that 5,280 feet? If you hadn't done that, you would have had to convert the yards to feet. And I never remember the yards. What I remember is 5,280. Okay. So pause the video and then get started and then come back and let me say that again. Pause the video and then come back. Don't show your parents this video. They'll think I'm goofy. Okay, so pause the video and then come back and check your answer and see what you get. Okay, we're back now. So as I told you, there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So we're trying to see how many, and that is the abbreviation for foot and feet. So how many feet are in 3 miles? You probably already figured this out. I know y'all, because y'all are smart like that. I got smart kids in my class. So 1 times what gives me 3? 1 times 3. Of course, you already knew that. So 5,280 times 3, I knew you already got that, is 15,840 feet. So in 3 miles, there are 15,840 feet. And just as a point of trivia, I think it's like a tenth of a mile from one end of the building to the next. I have to ask Mr. Rick to verify. All right. 864 inches is equivalent to how many feet? I think I got this one right in class. And see, we're using ratios, y'all. Ratios can be written as fractions. So we should. This is one measurement you should always keep in your head for the rest of your life. Where will you use this in real life? All the time. 1 foot. And notice I said feet up here and foot. So whatever you say is dependent on the measurement. If it's plural, you say feet. If it's 1, you say foot. So 1 foot is 12 inches. And so I want to know how many, watch this, y'all, feet are in 864 inches. So 12 times what gives me 864? I do not know. So scribble scrabble off to the side. 864 divided by 12. So I can see what number is multiplied by 12 to give me 864. So I'm going to divide 864 by 12. 12 doesn't go into 8. 12 goes into 86. 12 times 6 is 72. 12 times 7 is 84. And then I subtract, bring down. Ooh, look at there. 12 goes into 24 two times. 12 times 2 is 24. No remainder. So 12 times 72 gave me, I'm just going to put that right there, 864, and 1 times 12 gives me 12. So that's my answer right there. There are 12 feet in 864 inches. So 864 inches is equivalent to 12 feet. So how about that, people? Now let's get to the nitty gritty. This chart here, and if you're at home, again, I want you to print this out and keep it. Put it in your binder, put it in your notebook. If you don't have a printer, just at least write these conversion tables here, this one and this one. Make sure you write them in your notebooks, okay? And we're going to do some more with the metric system tomorrow. Metric system is easier than our system. It's much easier to manipulate. So we'll see these. I don't need to read them all to you. We'll read them as we use them, okay? Uh, Here we go. So let's do this one right here. Approximate conversions. And I'm trying to find mine so I don't have to pull out a calculator. So you can use a ratio table to convert between customary and metric measurement systems. So to go from our ones that we are familiar with, which is the customary, to the metric system. I think in another 50 years we'll probably be totally on metric systems, but in my 57 years we've still been trying to convert. But I'm going to be optimistic. We'll be totally metric by then. So you're making punch for a school dance and you need 5 liters of pineapple juice, but it is only sold in gallons at your local store. How many gallons will you need to buy? Now, you may think this is completely dumb word problem, but it's not, because with the advent of social media, when I pull recipes, sometimes it'll be in grams and different things like that, because I might get recipes from people from other countries, and I have cups and I have my measuring cup that's in ounces and half cups, and then my other little measuring cups for my dry goods, which are in cups and quarter cups and eighth cups. They're not in grams. So I do have to convert or get some new measuring cups, but I have to convert. All right. So uh, from our conversion chart, we know that 1 liter is 0.264 gallons, 264 thousandths of a gallon. Okay. So we need 5 liters. So what we look at here, 1 times 5 gives me 5. So I'm going to take 0.264 and multiply it by 5, and that gives me 1.32. So I will need 1.32 gallons of pineapple juice. So if I'm going to the store, I'm going to have to buy 2 whole gallons, and I'm going to use only a third of one of my gallons. So it's not going to be exact, but pineapple juice is good, so that's okay. Um, Now let's look at this one. This one's a little bit crazy. 7 meters equals how many yards? So first, I go, let's see which one I find. Okay, 1 yard equals 0.914 meters. This one's a little weird. So that's 7 meters, right? So 7.914 times what gives me 7? So I go in my calculator and I do 7 divided by 0.914, because I am not doing that by hand. And it rounds off to 7.66. So I multiply this 1 by that. So 7 meters is 7.66 yards. So that lets me know whenever I see meters in the metric system, I kind of know that it's a yard. And when I see kilometers, I kind of know it's a little bit bigger than a mile. Like 60% of a kilometer, a mile is 60% of a mile is a kilometer. So that's how I look at it. So it's compatible in a way. Now let's look at this one's a little bit easier. 22 kilometers equal how many miles? So 1 kilometer is 621 thousandths of a mile. We just did that one. We got that from right there. Right there. Okay. So I want to know how many miles is 22 kilometers. 1 times 22 is 22. And I go in my calculator and I multiply 0.621 times 22. So times 22. I'm just going to put that there as a reminder. And you'll come up with 13.66 miles. So there are 13.66 miles, or 13 and 66 hundredths of a mile, 13 and 66 hundredths miles in 22 kilometers. 3 pounds, from pounds to grams. I like my pounds when one of my doctors weighs in kilograms, and I like that because it makes me seem smaller. So, again, 3 pounds equals how many grams? So 1 pound equals 454 grams. Right here. Step right there. That's what you use. Okay, so 3 pounds is multiplied by three. 1 times 3 gives you 3. So 454 times 3 gives me 1,300 and not and 1,362. 15 centimeters, and you can always pause this video if I'm going too fast. 15 centimeters equals how many inches? 1 centimeter equals 0.394 inches, right there. That one. So, so you see why you need to keep this table? Keep the table. Keep the table. 1 centimeter equals 0.394 inches. And I want to know how many inches are in 15 centimeters. 1 times 15. Okay. Remember those ratio tables we did and we multiplied? So same thing. 0.394 times 15. 15 is 5.91 inches. So it's 5 and 91 hundredth inches in 15 centimeters. Now, one thing I always remember is there, well, 2.54 centimeters in an inch. I just kind of remember that. And I learned it in like the fourth, fifth grade. Okay, 14 ounces is how many grams? So 1 ounce is how many grams? Let's see. 1 ounce is 28 and 35 hundredth grams. And I don't have that memorized. I use my table. No shame in using the table. And you know I let you use notes or I will provide them on any test, okay? Okay, so I want to know how many are in 14. So 1 times 14, 28.35 times 14. I do that in my calculator. Okay. 4 gallons equals how many liters? Pause the video and see if you can work that one. Okay, so I'm assuming you've paused the video. Let's check. 4 gallons equal how many liters? So you went to your conversion chart and you found that 1 liter is 3.785. Mm-mm. Did I say it right? I probably did. 1 gallon equals 3.785 liters. So 4 gallons, 1 times 4, 3.785 times 4 is 15 and 14 hundredths liters. So that's how you do that. Your assignment is on Freckle. That's the only thing you're going to turn in today. We're going to work on it tomorrow. We're going to do some more practice and probably turn it in. I'm trying to think, do I need to do that? I'm looking at it and trying to see if I want to. I may do it. We'll see. All righty. Have a wonderful day. And those of you who are at home, I hope you are well. And those of you who are at school who think I went too fast, bleh. All right. Love y'all. Have a wonderful day. Wash your hands. Be careful.